Hold my clow. Hold my white clow.
My cloud.
I mean, it's definitely thumping around right now.
Tonight we're going to the club. We're going to have a glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine, and eat sausages.
Sausages with
We'll
sauerkraut.
have good time. Very, very good time. Go dancing till 3, 4 in the morning. Then we'll smoke 1 cigarette, 2 cigarette, glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine. Eat another sausage.
Welcome to the Passion DJ Podcast. I'm your host, Dingo, and with me is David Michael.
Hey,
Yeah, for those of you that have been watching, you might have noticed that was a little bit backwards, but
a little bit.
change
things up.
just a little bit. But tonight, we are lucky enough to have in studio some OGs, I guess, to the scene here, and good friends of the show.
Absolutely.
The Silent Disco crew here. We have the John Chappell, or should I say Ron Chorple, or Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, all these names, those fake names that I use.
Kim L, who's been on the show a couple times, right? Yeah, you were on our episode
At
200.
least once. Oh, yeah.
And then you were on the episode where we talked about women in the DJ space. And then last but not least, Sexbox. I don't know if you want to use your government name or not.
No. Why would I do that?
And this is the first time we actually had you in studio, so thanks for joining us, you three. And they are part of the Silent Disco crew here in Dayton. That the Silent Disco takes place the last Friday of every month at Dayton Yellow Cab. Mm-hmm. But before we get too far, why don't you guys go ahead and drop your socials?
John Chappell is Hey Chap Chap at Instagram.
That's not what it says.
Yeah, I know. It's an old picture.
No, your handle. That's not what it says.
I know that one's wrong.
Oh, okay.
The correct one is Hey Chap Chap.
Oh, okay.
You want to argue some more?
Just saying. For anybody who's looking, that's not what it says.
Yeah. It's wrong up there.
Mine is at I am Kimel on Instagram, Facebook.
Is
It
that a
doesn't
question?
really-
Like, are you quizzing me?
No,
I would ask you. I
just-
don't know.
Oh, you're cutting out.
No, you're good.
Here, let me see.
What color are you?
Yellow.
You're the yellow DJ now?
She said it first.
Are you ready for this job, though?
I don't know.
She's blue.
I'm about to get canceled on my first episode.
She's blue, actually.
Blue.
The blue
Oh,
cord.
that one.
No,
up
I'm
there.
blue.
Yeah.
There, I think you're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I am Kim L at Instagram
Yes.
and possibly Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really uses Facebook.
Yeah.
So.
Just old people.
Yeah, right.
Hi.
Instagram's fine.
Honestly, no, I guess my Instagram is at Dylan Foreal. I don't know. I never checked
It
it.
is.
I haven't in 6 months or
Yeah,
longer.
it is. I tag you in it.
I guess you could go to soundcloud.com/sexbox-2.
Give him your Tinder.
No.
There's more than one sex box on SoundCloud?
Apparently.
Sex boxes.
I mean, not any good ones.
We call them sex boxing.
Sex box I?
Sex boxing.
Yeah. So, Silent Disco, I know it's all started in Europe, but can you guys kind of tell everybody on the show, what is Silent Disco? Because I know there's a lot of people that haven't heard of it. Just to kind of give just an overview of, what the experience is, how it's different, how it's the same. What is it?
You guys take it.
Silent Disco, honestly, it's facilitated by everybody has wireless headsets, and each of the headsets will actually light up to a color, so it corresponds to the 3 different DJs that can perform at one time, which makes for really interesting crowd reading, obviously. But no, it also puts people kind of in that headphone space while they're listening to be inhibited. You have your own headphones on, you're kind of in your own little world, but at the same time everyone's very connected because you see what everyone around you is listening to. Mm-hmm. And being that we play all at the same time, it's also there's a very interesting competitive dynamic and energy between we want your attention and we will play the coolest songs we can to get it.
Or the
We
dumbest.
fight over it.
You intentionally play different styles, right? So,
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
variety.
So, for Dylan, you're the blue channel.
It's basically anything before the year 2000. It's not
It's like a throwback channel.
yeah, I would.
So good music then.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I would never cheat.
Yeah.
I would
With your
never
old
cheat
ass.
You
and play anything newer than that.
You cheat all the time.
You would never cross over into some poppy
No,
stuff.
Of course not,
No.
me. No. Yeah, it's the throwback jams.
We all cheat though.
Cheat.
Yeah.
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 These two mostly, but yeah.
And
fine.
Kim's the Happy Hardcore channel, right?
Yeah.
The Candy Kids.
Yeah.
No,
Candy-
I predominantly am playing any kind of EDM.
Okay. And then what do you focus on, John?
I do more like the mainstream stuff. So I'm doing
Like current?
hip hop and I'm doing hip hop
Taylor
and top
Swift.
40. But I'm doing a lot of pop. Normally, like at my normal job, I play kind of mostly hip hop, and then I do a lot of pop at Silent Disco. But usually with the end, I'll end with like emo stuff. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
A lot.
He goes hard at the end.
But they like
with
love
all
it.
the
They
yeah.
love it.
He's
so-
not okay.
Once they get once they get all liquored up, they get a little
It's like everything.
sappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays all that like Hawthorne Heights and Fallout Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I must have never stayed late enough to hear that part.
Yeah.
That's only for the hardcore, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should headline that festival.
Oh, the emo fire festival
Yeah.
coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess what I want to know is how did you guys like decide who was gonna take what direction with the music? Like, was it all obvious from the get go,
Well,
or did you
to
find
be
out over time?
honest, I mean,
I don't think we decided, right?
Yeah,
I
no,
think it
to-
was just
Really?
kind of a
to be honest, when we
sign.
first started doing this at the club that we were doing it, these roles were sort of like thrust upon us, right? And
Oh, like here's your hat. Here's your hat. Play
Yeah.
this music.
Yeah,
But
I
also-
actually got called in as
Yeah.
like a replacement.
yeah, because he came to me and was like, we need like a green. We need like an EDM DJ for Green Channel, and I immediately, of course, was like, well, it needs to be Kim. Just get Kim, and then that was it. Kim really took to it, so that was, and then that was super long.
I
ago,
don't
though.
even know how we
Yeah.
decided or.
Initially, I would just play like anything and whatever, and I kind of like over the next few kind of got locked into.
Yeah, that's true. They did evolve. Red Channel used to be strictly hip hop, only hip hop, and I don't know how it differentiated from Dylan's channel, the Throwback Channel, because I was playing throwback hip hop. I was.
We would fight over ponies so hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But then something happened and it got differentiated where it was like, no, that's Dylan's lane.
Okay.
I'll be the front end of the horse. You be the back.
Because it was like 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I think in my head I was like, oh man, there's so much there. In my head, I'm thinking like, he's gonna do 80s all night. Like, why wouldn't you? You know? And then he started wanting to do like a ton of that old hip hop that like we all love, and I was like, oh, I think I need to like remove that from my set.
Interesting.
So that sort of I replaced a lot of that with pop,
Okay.
and that's how Red Channel
Okay.
became what it is now.
Well, you were playing a lot of like UD parties and stuff too, so that kind of I
Yeah,
feel like
that's true.
lended to.
That definitely facilitated like an ease of transition into like this new venture that we were doing. Like, oh, I'm kind of doing this anyway.
So was it more of like because of what you were playing at the time changed the channel, or were the patrons that saw you, did they expect you to play that type of music?
Yeah, who formed the expectation?
Yeah.
I think it sort of really, I think it kind of evolved a little organically because at the time, just like as an example, like Shake It Off was really popular, but you wouldn't play that now. You know what I mean? So that plus the hip hop that was being played at the
Let
time.
me cross that off.
I'm gonna cross it off my mixtape.
Yeah.
So you would be playing that, but at the time, also those kids were also asking for like September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, so you were all over the board. But I mean, I wouldn't play that on Red Channel. That would be Dylan
For sure.
How much do requests come into play with this? I
Dylan and I get him a lot. I don't think Kim does.
I do. I mean, I do.
do the requests mostly like do they even come close to
To the channel,
channel appropriate?
Yeah,
Me?
I think, yeah.
literally never.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything they ask me for is him.
I have
Yeah,
I have
I
this
get it.
classic photo of Dylan like negotiating a request with a showgirl. I'll definitely make sure I give that to you.
And he looks-
It's a classic because you can just I can read his mind.
It's that
Yeah.
Dylan smile where he's like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, I actually was DJ Request in the Goods. That was me.
Yeah.
So how much do the respective channels represent your styles of DJing?
Oh, like outside of silent disco?
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of like not at all, but then totally. Like I don't play music that I don't want to hear. Generally speaking, like even when I'm doing like poppy stuff or like very pop things that people are very familiar with, I still only play songs that I want to hear because I don't want to be not having fun. I have to have the most fun. But I used to mostly, I mean, like you guys know, I've played house and techno and, whatever other electronic music. And so I don't really do that anymore. So I guess you could say I'm pretty far outside of my wheelhouse. But then I've also definitely made like playing throwbacks one of my niches. I get hired to do that other places.
Kind of made a new wheelhouse.
Yeah. And it's as much as, I kind of miss doing the other thing too. It's like this makes me a broader, DJ or just, performer in general.
Yeah, nice.
So it's, it fits me.
I have really no way to segue into this subject, but one thing that really struck me about going to silent disco is how not silent it is. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, that's like people's like common like thing. They think you just like walk in and it's like you can hear a pin drop. Like
no, it's not.
It's not.
Like it took
awkward.
me like even talking to my wife who like doesn't normally go to things like this anyway.
Yeah.
She's like, that sounds awful and awkward. I wouldn't want to do that. I'm like, it's not like that. I'm like, you party inside your head, and then when you want to have a conversation, you take it off, and it sounds like every other bar.
That's literally all three of us. Like that's our pitch when people are like, "What?"
It's
like,
so much more fun and not awkward.
I
than
know
it
it sounds stupid. So I actually tell people all the time. I'm like, look, I'll tell you what. If you promise to check it out, I'll list you. You come up. All right, because I swear to God, you're gonna get it.
Like good drug dealers do.
You're gonna get like
first one's free.
Just a little taste. I'm like, I'll list you, and you come up, all right, and then whatever, you have a good time. If you don't like it, you leave. But I'm telling you, you're gonna walk in, and you're not gonna understand what you're doing. And the minute you put the headphones on, you're gonna get it immediately. It's just everything is gonna make sense, and you're gonna come back because everyone who goes keeps coming back. Like, so. But you have to pay that second time.
Yeah.
It's like 3 or 4 bars in one place because you have your 3 channels, right? Like worth of music, and then the headphones off option.
Right. There's like there's a pragmatic thing about that, right? Like it's like if you go to a normal bar and you don't like the music, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like here you have at least 3 options.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's just. That alone is like a draw for me.
And it's not just a playlist. Like we are actively trying
DJing.
really hard.
You're fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're talking shit about each other on the microphone.
Absolutely.
Like,
My son
I mean,
loves.
the 3 of us are like best friends, but like we not the last Friday of every month.
Yeah. My oldest son, when he came in the summertime, he loves telling the story about how you were talking mad trash about a listener, like she didn't have her headphones on your channel.
Yeah, it was my friend's stepmom.
Yeah, yeah. He tells that story to everybody whenever we talk about silent disco.
Yeah.
So John was just talking mad trash about this particular individual, and everybody was looking and pointing at her while John's talking trash. And then she finally turns her headphones to the correct color, and she's like, "Oh, isn't she an awesome? Give her a round of applause." Yeah. But when you're talking about how quiet or how not quiet it is. Like if I was a bartender working in a situation like that, that would be awesome because I was a bartender for a while.
You can hear.
You can hear. Not only that, but at the end of the night, you're going home and your ears aren't ringing either.
Yeah.
And so for me, just like it's quiet, but it's not quiet. But the funny part is when you're playing something that's like definitely a sing along type song, like you hear all these people singing off key and whatever, like
That's
Dancing
really
Queen.
fun.
That's
really fun because
that gets you to put the headphones back on if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, that's a big thing. You get a big recognizable vocal, and everybody starts singing along. Everyone's like, "What's going on?"
You get a sing along banger. I'm sure these two probably get it too. We take off our headphones, just
try to figure out what's going on,
like the acapella of what because it's so ridiculous to just hear people like screaming with no backing music whatsoever.
Just 2 words: Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh yeah, that. But we all have like a few in our wheelhouse that's just people come back and they know that we're gonna play them and they know they're gonna sing them we try to keep an eye out for like. When Kim plays Sandstorm, Dylan and I are going to burn one of our shitty songs, Damn it.
Or that one time the 3 of us played Sandstorm at the same time.
At midnight, we timed it on New Year's Eve.
And that was awesome because, like, as you flip the channels, Kim's like, "You can't get away from us, bitches."
The look of confusion on everyone's face, like, is it broken?
I was just gonna. You may have just answered my question, but I was gonna ask: Is it is it more difficult for you, Kim, to have that kind of moment because you're kind of more maybe playing to the heads? It might be harder to get the normal, quote unquote, like bar goer people with the recognizable tracks, or is it like are there enough Sandstorm and
I mean, I think
like
that's throughout this whole time playing silent disco, I think that's the thing that I've really had to like hone in like as a skill. Like normally I play house, all kinds of house. Like that's what I love. But disco has made me break out of that. So now I'm playing trap, I'm playing dubstep, you know, I'm playing
okay.
A lot of big room.
yeah, like everything EDM. And I think it's learning the timing of the genres and your visual, like how much green can I see? What are they responding to? And just like on the fly, you know, respond to that. And, you know, every once in a while, like throw in one of the vocal, you know, sing-alongs or whatever to kind of rope people back. And it's just really like paying attention and trying a lot.
There's also like you have to understand like just because of the way that you asked the question, it's like people go towards Green Channel probably most of all.
She's a cult leader. She
Yeah,
has the
okay,
diehard
and that's
fans.
the thing. And in a way, because there's so much I want to like unpack here. Okay, so in a way, Kim works harder than any of us. Okay, because my job's super easy. Like
You're playing
life
this
does my job for me.
You're playing the stuff we all listen to in the minivan going to soccer.
and then Dylan, like our job, Dylan and my job kind of is to just keep throwing out recognizable stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Like his library. I mean, assuming if we stay within these genres, his job will never get harder. Okay, it's always going to be the same library of music.
They don't make new old
Right.
songs.
Now my library grows, but life does it for me. So if you think about it, like she's actually doing the most work, okay? 'Cause she's out there having to gather tracks.
interesting.
Also, she like you said, everyone who's on the Green Channel is realistically probably every disco hearing songs that they've just never heard before. But all we're doing is selling sing-alongs. Kim is like selling a vibe, and that's why she gets like way more people. But in a way, like Kim's actually the most unbridled out of all of us because she's not restricted to songs that people have to have heard. Like I can play something that was made yesterday, but if nobody's heard of it, no one's going to want to hear it, and they're going to switch to their channel. Dylan, kind of same thing, although...
Yeah, if I play like a B-side or some like lesser known song, but it's still a very popular artist, you know, like it's just not going to hit.
You don't
the
lose
same.
traction.
So
Yeah.
what Kim is doing is essentially like building a vibe from start to finish, and it's just there the whole time. She's not really flying off into different directions, you know? So...
Are you building a kind of one crate that you work out of mostly, kind of like when
I do. I don't know
a
if she
stand-up like works on their set and they throw away things that don't work and stuff, or are you constantly like every time like throwing new stuff in?
I mean, I think between every disco, I am downloading, you know, at least a couple handfuls worth of new music.
That's cool.
I mean, that's just my like habit, my ritual anyways. But I do try to incorporate that. Like now that I'm not playing as often, I, you know, try to incorporate that to, you know, stay fresh and relevant. Especially in EDM because, I mean, there's new stuff coming out all
Every
the
day,
time.
you know.
Totally.
Yeah, and the people who like EDM know, you know, how old a song is, or like, oh, that we listened to that song 2 years ago, like we want something else. So, I mean, it is a lot of, I don't know. I mean,
There's a lot of discovery, like with what you're doing, for sure.
I mean, I spend most of my time staring at my screen, you know, trying to find the next song. Like I scroll through all of my playlists every time.
Interesting.
What fits here? And it's also like the only regularly scheduled thing in Dayton that is doing any sort of EDM whatsoever.
True.
But also like I don't want to say like EDM is back to being underground or anything. Like obviously like it's popular.
It's got
it's
got
super
influence,
popular. I mean, like festivals.
We just don't
It's not
have
like
a spot
festivals are
in
secret.
Dayton. That's
Right.
why it's back to being underground, because we don't have a
You
spot.
just don't have anything.
Yeah. So a lot of times when I tell people about silent disco, and I tell them about the headphones and everything, they're like, and you comment on it at the beginning, but people are like, oh, well, then no one's really going to interact with each other. So I argue that that's not the case. And can you share why you agree or disagree?
I agree absolutely that it's kind of the opposite. It's like people are almost more into it because they have the headphones on. Because like again, like it was like I said earlier, you have your headphones on, you're walking down the street, you might start singing the song, you don't even really realize you're singing it, and everyone kind of gets in that space. But again, like the headphones all show you exactly what everyone's listening to, and that creates a communal feeling, And again, you can turn the volume down, you can put it over one ear, you can you can talk to people, and there's a lot
you
of...
can tailor your listening experience.
And it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. He's right. Like, it happens. People interact more because, I mean...
Because you're like almost uninhibited because you're in your own head
it's
space.
like being at a sleepover when you're in the 8th grade. Like, you don't plan on, like, listening to music and dancing and lip-syncing with your friends, but, like, it just happens. And so he's right. Like, everybody's seeing the colors that they're on. It facilitates like a whole community. And they
I think
talk.
it also facilitates like strangers like
Interaction.
vibing
Yes.
together,
Yeah.
like from clear across the room.
Yeah.
Because you see someone listen to that same color channel at
And
the
they're
same,
like they're
same
getting
moment.
it, and then you lock
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and then magic happens.
sometimes
Oh,
I have to
man.
like
Sometimes it do.
listen to what they're doing a little bit, see what it looks like when everything turns red. You're like, what's going on over there? And look, but I'm always trying to like cover up my headphones when I do it, so it's like I'm not showing weakness. Like don't let them see me with red headphones. Like
So
Yeah, we had a proposal happen.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, Kim did.
That's cool.
I mean, I haven't had one yet.
wow.
By the way, I'm not
Someday,
saying
buddy.
someone proposed to Kim. I'm saying someone proposed
On my channel.
On your
on
channel?
her
Yes.
channel.
oh,
Yeah, it was Halloween.
yeah, and there's been birthday shout outs,
So many.
Tons.
yeah.
and just like your one buddy got his citizenship.
Oh,
Rob?
Yeah.
Rob
So-
got his
so-
citizenship.
Yeah,
so
so it's just
fun.
like
But I mean, that meant a lot to all of us.
Yeah.
I did that myself. I really,
no, but it's still cool because there are a bunch of strangers on your channel that didn't know Rob,
Right,
and
and now
didn't
they-
know his story.
Oh, yeah.
and now they know part of. Dude, hey, I remember
Yeah.
that cat. Yeah,
Actually, and then what's funny is when I announced that like my buddy Rob, he got his citizenship. I have a regular. She's like a slightly older lady, and she's British, and she's there every time. She's always on my channel. I announced that Rob got his citizenship. She comes over and introduces Rob. She goes, "I just got my citizenship."
Yeah.
So they start talking.
yeah,
That's awesome.
And now they have a shared experience.
Yeah.
of choosing to become Americans. And
Yeah.
that's cool shit.
Yeah.
And there really is there are new social interactions that happen just because of the format of that night, right? Like you were talking about just seeing what color people are listening to and stuff. That happened the last time I went. That happened when you were playing, Kim. I saw just a sea of green happen all of a sudden. It was like, and I looked out, and of course, the more you see it, the more people do it, and
Yeah.
so it
The FOMO.
It's
yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
rolling effect.
it's like infectious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And so
it's-
then you have that kind of new connection with even a whole crowd of people that
It's
you
probably
wouldn't have had
Sandstorm.
before.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's, looking out and seeing people intentionally choosing to listen.
To leave these two.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart choice.
I mean, because, if you're in like an not empty bar, but if you're just in a bar and music is playing, is anybody actually listening?
Yeah.
It's almost like background noise.
Yeah. But I mean, at the silent disco, like, it's on their ears. They're dancing. They can hear you. And I feel like that creates this super intimate social environment that, like, you have to be there in that moment with the headphones on to experience that. Because if you're red in the same space, you're not, it's a whole separate
Yeah, you're
thing.
physically present, but you just ain't there.
Yeah.
yeah,
Does
it's
it-
super, like, psychological.
Does
in
it
that
feel
way.
like DJing with one hand behind your back when you don't have the RGB data to look at?
When you're doing a regular gig now, yeah.
No, actually, I consider it the opposite. It has improved my crowd reading so
Really?
much.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, when you to be able to have that feedback, it's like I start looking at people differently, and like I'm more able to now just like target some people. Just like, oh, those people are there. I bet they would wanna. And you build on that. It's like, okay, I got these people moving. Let me get these people over here. It's my crowd reading has improved
Interesting.
dramatically over the years as a result.
See,
Yeah,
I would have
I
been
would agree.
concerned about the opposite. That's fascinating.
Well, it's
That's what
kind of
actually
like
happened.
you look at the colors. The colors serve as confirmation of approval, right? So then, as they're experiencing that, you get to look for other unconscious clues that are going on, like body movement, energy level in a person, their interactions with other people. If you remove the color, those elements still exist. So taking it to any other club where you're not doing a silent disco, like those elements will still be there. You can look for them, you can play to them.
Right, and other people aren't playing at the same time.
Also, right.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
it's like they're stuck with you.
But I mean, again, if you're playing alone, it's a different sort of thing. We're playing against each other. If you're alone, you're kind of playing against yourself, or you're trying to win against yourself.
And it's funny when you mentioned about like Dylan quietly like trying to cover your headphones and see what people. I catch you guys like sneaking behind each other and looking at each other's screens because I do photography for these guys too.
Yeah.
But there'll be times where I catch them like just sort of peering over behind the laptop.
train spotting.
Yeah.
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 What are you doing?
What the hell's he queuing up next?
I do that to John a lot,
Yeah.
So
just to psych him out.
what's the hardest part? What's the biggest challenge? Do you think?
I think for me, since I'm mixing, I have to use my own headphones.
Well,
'Cause you have to
and Dylan,
cue.
when you scratch,
we
yeah,
mix.
that's pretty impressive too. So for those that you don't know, for the DJs out there, in order to hear what's going on, what's being output, because you don't have a monitor, you have to actually put the wireless headphones on. So
Turn them up really loud.
because there'll be plenty of times when I'm walking by you guys and you literally have two
Headphones.
two sets of headphones on one ear, one on the other ear, and you're trying to cue and mix at the same time without it being played out loud.
The only reason I ever wear the actual silent headphones while I'm playing is so that I can hear what they're hearing, because it's shortwave radio. It's not It's
not Bluetooth.
It's not like
It's not of the highest
XLR.
fidelity. Yeah.
So I wanna be able to hear what they're hearing so that I can tweak my EQs to get the best sound.
It's like listening to the house system.
Yeah.
Same,
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kim always sounds great. I don't know what she does, but like,
Is she the one that sets up all the gear?
No, that would be me. So.
No, honestly, though, that's one thing I'll say that is very different about DJing the silent disco is the way that like the headphones respond to EQ changes or effects. Like certain effects that might sound cool on speakers just will not work on the headphones.
Not
Like
so
what?
much.
I guess I wouldn't know.
Odd, even something as simple as like a flanger.
Yeah, it could sound weird on headphones.
Huh.
Yeah, sometimes even like a delay, like the
Because
amount
of
of
the stereo separation and everything, or
I have
just
my
having
stuff
so close.
I
to-
have my entire DJ rig monoed out.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, but no, for real, like something like an echo that, like in an actual space, that's gonna depend on.
Okay.
Yeah,
The height of the ceilings, how many people are in there.
Whereas in
Okay.
the headphones, it's purely a digital sound, and it's gonna be like I have to adjust like my delay repeats and stuff. Like my effects are quite a bit different on the headphones.
I think what's also hard is like I'm used to playing out loud. So I'm used to like feeling the bass, and it's really hard. Like sometimes at the end of the night, like my ears are ringing because I've turned it up so loud so that I can like feel the bass through my ears. Yeah, that's
Need a
weird.
Subpacks
That's a
sponsorship.
Yeah, we need to get Tony on that.
That would be amazing.
I don't know, but it's like I've got this vest on. And it's like 2 sets of headphones, like buried in gear to pretend that I'm playing out loud.
Your tactical setup.
I don't know the hardest part for me. I just honestly, it's such a cop out answer, but like honestly, clean up at the end of the night. Like everything else is. I mean, it's a challenge, but it's nothing. I'm like, God,
No, that's
damn
a
it.
legitimate.
You
I mean,
know?
do you run
challenge,
into a lot of tech issues? Like, that half the headphones aren't
Oh my
working.
god,
the
that
battery
one time
power
my transmitter.
Yeah, we ran into one time Kim's transmitter didn't work.
I think
so
that
we
was the
had
time I was there.
We had to, So we had to call our guy, and poor guy, he sent his wife with a new transmitter.
Yeah,
just like-
shout out to Chris Chilton.
Yeah,
aka
yeah,
DJ Chill
DJ
slash
Chill.
Not So Loud.
Not So Loud.
Not So Loud Silent Party?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
We need to get him on the show,
move,
too,
like,
yeah.
to the outside that night? Like, you were inside, and then you, like, in the middle of your set, you're like, I'm going to move out here. And you picked
No,
it up.
that was a different.
That was a
night.
different
That was,
night.
yeah.
This was one where we were outside.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we were already outside, and we were
on our
setting up.
prime setup. Where like Dylan had his tented stage, Kim had her tent or stage under the big tent, and I had my open air stage. And then her transmitter just like would not work. And for some reason, it only has 3 channels on it. So for some reason, hers said 8. It's displaying the number 8. So we knew something was wrong.
Whoa.
It was actually a B.
Yeah.
Flip it to side A.
Yeah, so Chill
It's
sent his
bad,
wife out with a new
broken.
transmitter. Other than that, sometimes headphones will not work. That's part of it. But we have so many.
If they're not charged up.
yeah,
or,
you just
know.
go and you get a new one. And I'm sure on Chill's end, what with COVID, the amount of cleaning that goes into those things now is probably real, lot more strict than it used to be.
Well, that's one thing that was really nice though, is because you have these headphones and you're not moving a PA or whatever. Like we were able to have these outdoor parties with excellent social distancing.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yes.
we have
And good sound.
Yeah, you know. It was a large venue. There was plenty of room for everybody to spread out, and then even even when it starts to get colder and we move inside, we can open the gates. And,
Yeah.
and if you're comfortable and the weather's nice, you can just walk
Just go
outside with your
outside.
wireless headphones.
And sometimes your fans will go outside in the rain with their headphones
Yes,
still.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they are made of
Torrential
plastic,
rain.
yes.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. But I mean, if you've got to figure with the removal of like speakers and PAs and cords and microphones and everything that like you would normally have at a party, like it removes a lot of the tech issue. You know,
Well,
the only thing that needs to work is 3 transmitters. Beyond that, it's good.
You don't run into, like, you start picking up interference from the local FM station or anything.
No,
like
it's
that.
Oddly
not
enough,
Spinal
no.
Spinal
No.
Tap.
I've heard that they actually work pretty far.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They work very far.
And they
Like-
go through pretty
Solid walls.
solid
pretty
walls
well.
too, because I was before the show I was talking about I used Chill's setup to do an event at a museum here in town, and we said, hey, everybody stay in this particular area, and of course by the end of the night there's people all over the museum.
Yeah.
And I just sort of started walking around to see how far these people were, and like I was very surprised at how far and through different walls and different structures and on different floors of the museum. I was like, man, these things are pretty killer.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like the listeners
impressive.
won't know, but if you guys know distance, because I have no concept of distance, but Yellow Cab to Ned Peppers is how far that they work. So however long that is.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
like
about a good-
into the Oregon.
It's about a half mile,
I will say that
Is it?
quarter mile, half mile.
there's not a lot
Quarter?
of like material between those two areas though to block the signal. There were times where
we're also outside when we tested this.
at the old club that we used to work at, I would go out back sometimes, while smoke or something. But there was like one corner where I would turn and it would start breaking up a little bit,
Yeah, every once in a while I'll be there listening in while I'm taking pictures, and I hear like some feedback, and I'll run up to y'all's transmitter and like tighten that down. But I've never experienced any tech issues when I've been to y'all's events.
No, the system is very reliable.
Yeah.
What's a typical crowd, and then what's like a really good banging
I love
party?
this question.
You mean like
because-
size or?
Yeah, like numbers.
size? Oh, I thought you were gonna say like the type of people.
Oh no, we'll do that next. Yeah.
We'll do that too.
Size.
I mean, our biggest was Halloween.
Yeah, we had to get. You also got to understand that like, there's a decent amount of people that come early, leave 2 hours later, and then there's also people that
Show up 2 hours late.
2 hours later.
Yeah, they come in waves.
So
I mean, the traffic is pretty steady.
yeah, so like 500 headphones could potentially get you about 800 people worth of usage, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's say 700. That's a little much, right? Yeah. So 700. Halloween, we had to bring in 400 headphones. And
How many do you normally have? The 300.
we normally have about 300, 350.
Okay.
So Halloween, we had to bring in 400. New Year's Eve, we brought in, I think we brought in 500. Wow. Right? And when we didn't use them all, but Halloween, we got down to that last box.
couple sets,
Oh yes,
yeah.
yeah. And that was with people coming in and out. Now Halloween was way more than just a silent disco. Like we sort of put on a show.
Yeah.
I mean,
because you had a costume contest.
oh man,
You know.
I mean,
And
we
like
sort of put the whole thing on
everybody
pause.
participated. It was the longest contest.
How many people?
Like a lot of people.
It was like, we thought, okay, well,
we
probably five
we
or
made
six
John run it at the
people.
last minute.
Yeah. And then they're like, hey, get on the mic. And then they scammed me to get on the microphone.
I'm not.
I'm
not
sure
a
you put up a lot of
mic person.
resistance too.
I was like, guys, I can't. Okay.
John hates a microphone.
And then, so we did that. But yeah, these costumes just kept rolling through. And I'm like, this is never going to end.
I really liked Colonel Sanders and her two cops.
That was our friend Bree and Jade, yeah. But Dylan loved it because he didn't care because however long it lasted, it doesn't matter because Kim and I have to walk back to our channels. He has a free blue channel, 400 people, so he gets to do whatever he wants.
Well, no, we agreed that for the best thing for everyone at that particular moment, and this is also like a big point of contention, Cupid Shuffle.
Oh, right, yeah.
Line dances are like a total cheat code. If you put on a line dance,
It's like Sandstorm. It's like everyone's going to go there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
And then Kim always demands a conga line.
Yeah.
And that always makes people change channels.
Hang on. Kim demands a conga line when she cheats and plays Shania Twain, which is technically mine. Or is it yours?
It's technically mine.
Technically,
This is the first time
Fighting over Shania.
we fight over songs all the time.
This is the first time this is brought
But
to
the
the
thing
table.
is Kim is the only one who wants to play.
Yes,
it
that's-
also.
that's the
So we're
secret.
just
Yeah.
like, whatever, that's
You
fine.
can-
People
Yeah.
love that I play it.
Yes, of course. But I'm
God,
not
you played
really
Mariah
picky.
Carey, too.
I'm not picky because, like, again, my stuff is constantly evolving and being thrown in my face. All my homework is done for me. Kim has to hunt it down, and
I have to make it fresh every
Dylan has to
single
make
time.
it sound
Yeah.
fresh. So I just let them have like Cupid Shuffle. It's supposed to be mine, but he wants it, so I just give it to him because I got the wobble. So who cares?
And that's funny because when you're saying like you have to make it fresh every time, I remember talking to Dave and I was like, sometimes I'm like, hey, you guys, I'd like to help out, give you guys some relief and maybe do a set for you. But I was like, man, that's like 6 hours, man. That's like ridiculous because like,
Do you think so?
No, but I do like 12-hour sets for CrossFit competitions.
Yeah.
But like I'm
But
not
you're
mixing.
restricted to you have lanes that you're staying within, and this is a repeating event.
Yeah. Like for me, my CrossFit events, I do like maybe 6 a year. And the people that are at these different events, like I'd say maybe 10% have seen me like at a previous event. So it's fresh every time.
Yeah. Okay.
So to do 10 or 12 hours it's not that quote big of a deal.
But
because-
also in that 12 hours, are you like repeating any
no,
songs?
I don't play the same song
Right,
twice,
so- 'cause we
except for
don't
maybe the
either.
national anthem.
Right.
And then
Which you play
That's
every
a
15
banger.
minutes.
Francis Scott Key.
He leaves deck 3 on loop.
Yeah.
Just brings it up.
Yeah. But for me, it's like I'm kind of doing the 3-channel thing because if it's a workout that requires like some slow, steady attention where they're lifting one thing really heavy once or twice, and then something where they got to go really fast, which would be obviously Kim, and then something where it's like kind of in between, kind of like the pop thing.
Yeah.
So that's not nearly as difficult as what you guys have to do every month. And like you said, and keep it fresh because you guys play the same songs because those are the bangers from those respective lanes.
Yeah.
But you can't just hang it up and play the same damn playlist every time because listeners, they're fickle.
Yeah.
They'll call you out if you guys are
for
doing
sure.
that.
Yeah, they'll get used to, how like sometimes you have two songs that mix really, really, really well together, and then they mix so well that like you start doing it more than once, and then all of a sudden like people who come back to your stuff, they're like, watch, he's playing Body, he's playing Body right now. He's gonna go into Snoop Dogg. Watch, just watch,
Same
Yeah.
shit we used to do at Pearl.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not like it's not that it's bad. It's not that it doesn't work. It's not that people aren't still into it, but now you are losing the element that like you're not fresh anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, those are like signatures.
Yeah.
now.
Like and so like for you, John, like for me, your signature is you play I write sins, not tragedies.
Well, that's just one song.
I know, but I'm saying, but for me, that's like if someone says like, "What's one song that John's gonna play that's gonna make me lose my shit?" And for me, that's your song because like, I was way older when that song came out, but like whenever I hear it, like I know it. And like Kim, like for you, it's like, I'm kind of cheesy because I came up at that moment, like with the Sandstorm thing. But I know when you drop that, it's just gonna go ape shit. And then for Dylan, like Pony.
It's Pony.
Yeah.
It's
But
Pony.
you see all
I
these-
get stuck with the emo song.
Yeah, you see all these soccer moms start dropping it,
It's true. It's weird because people always like. That's one of the requests I get consistently, like well before. It's like I can't play Pony at 10:30. Are you crazy? Like,
I get that. I get that by normal job. Like it's like I go in at 9:15. They're like, you got to play WAP, and I'm like, girl, calm down.
Yeah. You got to warm me up first.
There is nobody, and they're like, everyone will go crazy. I'm like, there are 4 people in the bar. I'm not going ham at 9:15.
oh god! And then that's one of my other favorites is people come up to request a song and then their headphones are like green or red, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like that. They're over there.
Look at yourself right now. Look at yourself.
Yeah. It is, you're right though. It is Pony. Pony's the one song that I consistently get asked to play, and I have to send them to him.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, that's out of my jurisdiction, man.
Yeah.
You should do like a Kids Bop version.
I should do a whole set of just
hilarious.
Kids Bop. 'Cause it's out there.
Oh, when you say WAP, there's a Kids Bop. It's called Wet and Squishy.
That is
What?
terrifying.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Wet and squishy?
Yeah, it's about swimming and playing in water fountains and stuff.
It's not.
I was going to say, it's like, you can't. It's about the same thing.
It's not about that at all.
Oh my.
So going back to your, John, you said about the crowd. So what's the best type of crowd, versus size?
Here's the thing.
Like, who are you looking for?
I really like this question because, like, you and me and Dave and everyone, and these two even, and everyone that we sort of came up in the scene with has this same mentality that would make you ask this question. It's like, who are the people coming to your shows?
Mm-hmm.
And if we went to like EDM Tuesday or something at Pearl or something, a volume show,
There's an avatar.
we know
Yeah.
who our demographic is. The cool thing
No,
about
you know the people that are going to show up to that show by name.
you already know.
True,
you know
true,
who you're going to
yeah.
invite, and it's pointless.
And
to-
you know what song they like, and you drop
Yeah.
their track for them,
Yep.
and you point at them.
And it's pointless to reach outside that scope because, like, the people from Centerville are not going to drive to an EDM show or something like that. One, times have changed now, so like people from Centerville would totally come to an EDM show and do. But when it comes to silent disco, there is no typical crowd. It is literally all walks of life. It is awesome. We get like people who are a little bit too over the hill. They got a babysitter because they want to go listen to some Blue channel.
People bring their parents and grandparents.
Yeah.
Rob brings his stepdad all the time.
And there's that older couple.
Father-in-law, I mean.
The ones that I was doing an event up in Yellow Springs, and they were up there doing the hustle, and then I came to take pictures for you that same night, and they were there too, getting down to the Blue Channel.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
amazing.
I have a whole like crowd. Like I usually play like disco for like actual disco for at least part of my set, and I have this group of people that like I know they're gonna freak out. There's this one guy, he would always tip me $5 to play the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
And it was like, haha, sucker! I was always gonna play the Bee Gees. I want to stay alive.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of a beautiful thing because I've never been to a party or let alone thrown one that is like, good God, there's no such thing as a lockdown demographic. It's literally everyone.
That's got to be pretty rare, actually.
I
That's
mean,
what
if
I'm
you
saying.
want
I've
to
never
have
been to that.
fun,
Yeah.
then you're there.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're all talking like that British lady. She's probably like 55 years old. She's on Red Channel all night, and she's singing this stuff. She knows it. And then she walks over to Rob. Rob's like 28, and they're talking about citizenship, So, yeah, it's just like everyone. And I would have no idea how any of these people even heard about silent disco.
Yeah, I don't know where they come from.
Because
It's really interesting to ask.
because a lot of the marketing is just like native through Facebook or just people like me sharing it, on our social channels and things like that. Because you don't really do any like paid marketing or advertising, really, right?
No, I mean, we
think
made
so.
posters for New Year's Eve, but that's a big thing. You got to.
Yeah.
I think
Beyond
there's
that,
that built-in marketing with Yellow Cab.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's nothing like
but that's
super expensive.
them advertising there at the club. So for a month straight, people are seeing it, and they're finding out about it. It's in their newsletter, it's in their mailer, it's on their pre-sale. So if you buy a pre-sale to anything, you're also seeing the silent disco there. So I mean, it's there. Yeah, it's built in.
What's the ratio of like return regulars versus new faces?
Oh, I think that's an Elliot question.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, for me being like the unofficial photographer,
Yeah, you'd be looking at everybody.
yeah, I look at everybody.
Unofficial.
And it's real easy for me to spot new people. Like that's how much I would say that your percentage of return customers are.
Well, you've heard me. I ask. Do you guys ask? I get on my channel. I
Oh,
go,
yeah,
who hasn't ever been here
yeah.
before?
Oh, I don't.
I go, who are the virgins? And then
Yeah.
they raise their hand. And then
And you always get hands, I assume?
I do always get hands, yeah. But what's cool is like the hands are like the numbers are like staying the same or growing, but the hands every time are like less and less. So it's like people just keep coming back.
Nice.
You know.
And it's different people, like you said, coming in all the time.
Yeah.
It's a very diverse group. I will definitely testify
it's
to that.
crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, just look at the pictures. Like you got,
There's no earthly reason these people would ever
should
hang
be
out
together. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like if this was a regular club, these people would not interact.
ever.
Yeah.
No. And then we run a deal where it's like if you buy in blocks of 10, you get 20% off the pre-sale price. That way, it's like this is going to be super cheap for you if you just find 8 friends,
Go pregame together. Go have some dinner or something.
Do a lot of people take that deal?
What did we have?
no idea.
We had we sold like 70 that way one time. Our
Wow.
pre-sales
That
are usually
was
around
Halloween,
like 200.
wasn't it? We had quite a bit.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say pre-sales are usually 200
Pre-sales are about like not $200, like 200
tickets?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we get a lot of pre-sales sold.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
I've even used
that
them.
surprises me.
I've even used them with my photography. Like I'll buy the pre-sales and I'll give away tickets. Like, hey, if you purchase this photo package, I'll throw in 2 tickets.
That ended up being a really good idea too.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and so like I got people to come to the show.
Yeah.
And then I got to engage with new people because the people that actually bought that package from me were new. I had never seen them before either.
Yeah.
So that's a win-win,
And then the only other place that we really promote is like, and this is like an untapped resource that like people don't use, is meetup.com. It's sort of strange because the gist is, you make an account, it's social media or whatever, but like you click attend on something that you want to do, and then it is literally strangers converge at one place and literally just meet each other and hang out. And that sounds really jarring and awkward, doesn't it? Like, and somehow these kids, they're doing it all the time. There's this huge silent disco meetup group that's like run by our buddy Jeff, and he comes every time, and he gets like the first disco we ever had, he got like 50 people from meetup.
Wow.
No, wait, you're talking about the first one we did at Yellow Cat, right?
At Yellow Cab. He got like 50 people to just show
50
up.
strangers.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he only knew like maybe 11 of them, and then that was it. We built that 10 block 20% off. We built that for the meetup people.
Okay.
So and the thing is, they don't even use it because they just like it so much. They're happy to pay full price.
Yeah.
So they don't even mess with pre-sales, and we still sold 70 of those for Halloween.
How many? I don't want to say. How long has this been going now? The silent disco.
April was the second one because it was my birthday, right? So March,
Wait.
April. We've been doing
Are you
it
talking
since-
about
Like in
Ever?
Dayton,
Ever.
in Dayton for
Oh,
a regular.
forever.
I think this coming April was 5.
Something like
5 years, but you also got to
Wow.
figure there was 2-year hiatus there because of COVID,
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
or was it 2 years? 1 year. 1 year.
Well, it was like maybe we didn't do it for 2 years necessarily.
I don't think they did either.
But Chill, I credit him with bringing the silent disco to like
Same.
Southwest Ohio.
For sure.
Because it was really crazy. I was just downtown with my wife. She was with some people at work, just having, she's a nurse, so like they work weird hours, and they were just having a meet up. And I just saw this dude walk in with a backpack and headphones, and like the Pied Piper, he had like 20 people following him. I was like, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And I ran over and I was like, dude, I know what you're doing. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I was like, can I give you a hug? I'm your biggest fan. Yeah. And then like the next day, I'm like, Dave. There's a dude doing silent disco. I got his cards, and blah, blah, blah. And so I was super excited because I've heard of it, but I never had the opportunity to experience. So like when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be huge. But, and then obviously anything that's new takes a while to adapt. And then as it sort of became as it got more traction, like now, like I said, I've done stuff at the museum. I've seen it at weddings. We've seen it at the festivals here.
Yeah, Chill does a lot of silent weddings.
We were on
Yeah.
the news.
Oh
for
yeah, we
New
were on the
Year's
news
Eve.
for
Wow.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That was all Yellow Cab's doing. They've got some decent connects over there. I was pretty impressed. So they were there the whole night. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw him at the very end. I didn't realize
They
that.
were there while I was setting up.
Wow, that's
So,
cool.
yeah.
The mayor used to really like to come to the
Oh,
silent
yeah.
disco.
Really?
Yeah, she's
Nan
a big
Whaley
fan.
used to come. Yeah.
Really?
Big fan, yeah.
She's Blue Channel. I never thought, play to the politicians, but here we go.
So, going back to kind of the psychology of it, was there like an adjustment period for like, did you have to get used to like the dopamine loss from seeing everybody switch off of your channel? You know what I mean? Like, did that never make you sad? Like, oh, nobody wants to listen to Red channel.
It pisses.
Yeah, no, it's an emotional roller coaster.
It makes you want to fight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, yeah, and
That doesn't get any better, huh?
you
Got
get
thrown
in your
stuff.
own head. You get in your own head, and everybody can see it happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just like a million times worse.
Yeah, it sucks every time. Somehow all three of us at some point pretty quickly like come back. Like it doesn't feel like it, but the switch happens so quick and so often that you don't really notice it until one of us cheats or uses like, the bangers. Like if I see everybody switch to blue, I know it's one of 3 songs. If I see everybody switch to green, I know the exact 3 songs that it could be as well. I don't think I have that. I think I have one.
Nah, you got a couple.
Yeah,
I think I have one.
Yeah, sometimes I'll count.
I think I have wobble. I think that's it. I don't think I have anything that like is just
Now,
snatches.
I
it
think
away.
when you go into that, there's that you always at a certain point go into that emo set,
that
and when you do that, like that's like
it's a little
Mr.
dominating.
Brightside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Oh,
That one's
God,
a little
yeah.
dominating, yeah. But yeah, Dylan's is either Pony, Cupid Shuffle, or Bohemian Rhapsody. Hers is going to be Shania Twain.
Or Conga. That's another one.
It's Shania Twain or Sandstorm, or
Every
this
time we touch.
this mix that she has of Mariah
Mariah
Carey
Carey and Soulja Boy.
Yeah. And then I have Wobble and all the emo music.
No, actually, that's one thing that's really fun is that sometimes when it gets towards the end, I have what I refer to as my crowd alienation portion of my set. I have anything before the year 2000 is a large amount of leeway. So sometimes I'll end the silent disco with Slayer and 9 Inch Nails and Rammstein.
You used to start with that.
No, I used to. Mostly what I would start with was hair metal.
Yeah, you used to start with cock rock.
Yeah. No, but almost I would say 90% of the silent discos I've ever done, they always start with "In the Air Tonight." It's just because it's
getting everybody warmed
yeah,
up. Yeah,
it's got atmospheric and ethereal. Yeah, and, there's not usually a super a big amount of people there at that point, but the people that are there, they do with the drum fill.
yeah.
They have to.
I did catch that at New Year's.
Yeah. But that's something that you can do to keep your set fresh. Like we were talking earlier, you kind of fall into certain kind of patterns or whatever. These songs go well together. I play maybe this kind of music at this time. After a while, you just completely invert that. Like if for instance, I was playing maybe 80s for the beginning part of the night. I would play now I'm going to start with disco and then move to that, or no, we're starting with funk. You could take all those chunks and rearrange them and wildly change how people respond to it.
So is it different than a normal club night where someone might build to a certain energy level at a certain point in the night?
Yes, because you're playing such familiar we keep saying bangers, but songs that are very popular
Sing-songy, recognizable.
Everything has to be kind of killer or whatever. You don't have as much build. You're
Yeah.
always trying to
Trying to
maintain.
catch 'em.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry as much though about burning out your dance floor, because if you're not doing it, they're just gonna flip to the other stage. They're gonna burn themselves out. They're gonna have to pace themselves in this one instance.
Yeah.
So dropping it down, dropping the energy levels works quite a bit different at the silent disco than it would say at a regular set.
Okay.
But yeah.
I mean, you take your hour-long flow and spread it out.
Interesting. Okay.
At least that's what I do.
It's also about keeping them too, because
Yeah.
to try to get people back, you gotta figure the logistics of that. How they're not hearing you. So that's a big part of where us 3 shit talking each other comes in, because
It's like cross promotion. Yeah.
We will. Kim's a little nicer than us, to be honest, but
I'm not really a mic person.
right.
I believe it or not, don't talk
Conversely,
much on the mic
I
either.
am a mic person, so I will take the few reds that I have, put on a good song, and I'll just be like, Reds, tap a blue or tap a green, and tell them to fuck off with that shit.
And I get on my channel and I'm like, the red DJ talks too much.
Yeah. We aren't nice, really.
Yeah.
And when she plays Shania Twain, I'm screaming cheater. I'm screaming cheater into my microphone, you know.
Well, I think that's got to be some of the appeal, especially for repeat customers.
For sure.
Right? Is to like, we're gonna go hear the banter, and they actually like each other, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that was like our key in the very beginning.
Yeah, we discovered that real quick, I think.
About trash talking each other.
Well, it just sort of happened.
Says John.
But again, like we hung out.
It's a
back
game.
then
It's
when
a
we started.
competition.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're
we fun around like that anyway. So we it just happened, and then we really quickly like latched on to like, oh, us fighting is like that's pretty, unique to like what we're doing.
You're adding like storyline to
It's like a little performance, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure, but in that there's drawbacks. Like I don't know that. Like if one of us is sick, I honestly don't have the answer of what we would do. I have no idea. But
Me and Dave can handle one channel.
There is.
I feel nervous already.
That would be great because we literally do not have second strings.
we haven't really thought.
We don't
about
have
that.
any second strings.
No.
So
You did have Devin cover for you that
and
one
Devin
day.
did a really
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
job.
he was
he's
great,
Devin Carter Music on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's got. I remember it's funny because when he covered for you, Kim, he started. As he's just the way he moves and his energy, I was like, I've seen this kid before, and I couldn't figure it out. And it wasn't until
he played Breakaway.
no, he played Breakaway, but he also played. When Crystal Grid came back into
Correct.
town right before everything got shut down, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So I dug through my archives. I was like, that's that kid right there. And I sent him all the old clips. And he was like, oh, man, I didn't know anybody had clips of that show because I guess that was his first time he ever played out.
Oh, wow.
So I was happy to be able to give that to him. But,
He's got a really good energy.
oh, for sure.
And he does. The thing is
He talks just enough.
Yes.
Yeah. Unlike yourself, but
Let's everybody calm down. I can handle this.
We're all on Red Channel. Right?
Yeah.
No, but he engages the crowd. He moves about, and he just it was interesting to hear someone else do the Green Channel, and with a different personality.
It was pretty different.
Yeah.
He is having such a good time. I just put him on the Red Channel for the end of the night too.
Oh, really?
I just gave him my channel. He was so happy to be there, and he really helped us out.
Yeah.
I think you were maybe too drunk for.
Let's listen. I'm always too drunk.
Yeah. I'm pretty sauced by the end of the silence.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
The only difference is now we don't get yelled at for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also part of like it's like like maybe it's not the best or healthiest way to go about it, but it's about projecting that energy. Like I have to have more fun than everybody else. If I'm not having fun, like
yeah,
why
they aren't
are you?
either.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a big thing of like being green and like playing songs that maybe people don't know or like or a genre they haven't heard of before. It's like, okay, well, how do I listen to this? How do I enjoy it? But they see me up there jumping around, flailing my arms, shuffling in a circle. They're like, oh my God, she's having a great time. You know what? This song is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always got to be having just like a slightly better time than your crowd.
Yeah.
And you do have the perfect stage energy for Green Channel. I mean, yeah, because I've done that. I already know what you play, but I would see you up there and be like, I see what Kim's doing. She's getting crazy up there.
Yeah.
Occasionally dressed like pizza.
Find that pizza costume.
I do have some good Kim faces of some of the images I've taken.
So many good faces.
Kim
Lots of
always
base
makes
faces.
that face of like ooh, I just had a bite of something and that tastes really good.
Yeah.
It's always
And there's that other one who's like, oh, you motherfuckers
Yeah.
aren't ready. Yeah.
No, it's definitely hard. Like when you have the headphones on, I imagine your DJ face becomes more intense.
Yeah.
Because again, you feel like you're in your own little world, and so
Yeah.
you're just and like
Yeah, your face is like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know my
just
face.
looking up in the sky. Yeah,
I can feel mine's
no,
this.
No, John. Yeah, you're pointing at someone and talking trash about
dude,
them.
and I
yeah.
feel it. I feel my face, and I hate that face. And I'm always going. I used to have it. I quit smoking, so I used to have a cigarette in my mouth and just like this.
like that.
Stupidest face. That face right there. It's the stupidest face.
Yeah. For the listeners, just they're pointing at the cover art that you guys got to see.
That.
Yeah. So
Love it.
yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Thanks for
thanks
sharing.
For having us.
But so if each of you just like had the opportunity, like in an elevator, to convince someone to come to a silent disco, like what would you tell them? Like that 30-second elevator sales pitch.
Oh, man, we'd probably have the same answer, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get it. It sounds super awkward. I'm telling you, your concern is the same concern that everybody's had. Come, put on a pair of headphones, and I swear to God, you're going to get it immediately. It's going to make total sense, and you're going to love it.
That is one thing I hear every time from people is like, man, I thought it was going to be weird, or but then I got there.
And it's even better than it
Yeah.
is weird. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hate fun, don't come.
Yeah.
That's it.
Beautiful.
All right, so every last Friday of the month here in Dayton, Ohio. at
Every
the
last Friday at Yellow Cab
Tavern.
I guess the next one coming up is going to be the 25th of February.
Do you have their socials? Is it just Yellow Cab Tavern Dayton
Yellow
or something
Cab
like that?
Tavern.
Okay.
And then the Silent Disco is on Instagram. It's at Dayton Silent Disco. At Dayton Silent Disco.
You're wrong. It's totally the 28th
Of February.
Of February.
of February. Oh, you're right.
It's 25th of February.
And then,
Don't listen
but then
to
you
me.
also on Facebook have a silent disco group, correct?
Yeah, Dayton Silent Disco group on Facebook, if you still have that.
As John stares intently at the
Yeah.
old guy.
Yeah, we're currently buying up all the NFTs in the made-up property in the tavern so that we can have a virtual Silent Disco.
Minecraft Silent Disco.
Yeah.
Fun.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Support local, and if you're here within, I don't know, an hour's drive, just come hang out and check it out. It's an experience, especially if you've never been to one.
Yeah, say hi.
It's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
If you hate fun, don't come.
All right, this brings to a close this episode of the Passion DJ podcast. I am Dingo, and
I'm David Michael.
David always says,
Keep on spinning.
wash your damn hands.